I would do some archbishop. Been a school them from when me in a car shop. Liverpool couldn't test the way me raw sit up quick draw. Him drop and can't get up, him not fast enough for my problem that you never solve. Send for the Dan race for a firestorm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your black. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Bad ones in power to some archbishop. Them no bad. School them from me in a Turkish. Them no bad. Fool couldn't test the with me raw sit up drop. If I can't meet up, no fast enough for my Bible that you never saw. Send for the brand race for your fire song, cause I turn it to a monster. Ready for the war, better with your phone. None of them boy, they no bad. Left a mark, young gog on a regular. We say them hardly ready. Them a new type of artillery. We a bust and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue I hit you with an airstrike. They not bad like my air nice. It's a rare sight, yeah. Steady aim with precision. Make the vision with a clear sight. Better go get your affairs right. Them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Road back, live with my bar. If you mark, them no bad. Them no regular. We see them hard, them no bad. Me a new type of artillery. Me a bust and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue, you better airstrike. Them no bad. Me air nice, clear sight. Steady aim, them no bad. And it's the vision, we got clear sight. Better get perfect. Them boy, they no bad.
Welcome back to Indy Boys. My name is Tristan Greider, joined with Daniel Cheney and Justin Cox. We have a very, very crazy episode for you guys today. We got drama. We got big drama. We got IndyCar drama. Breaking news that Connor Daly has been dropped from Ed Carpenter Racing. We're going to talk all about that.
I do have a request.
All right.
May we have a moment of silence?
Yes.
For the Indy Boys legend.
Maybe
everyone salute the flag and bow your heads. All right, now that we've addressed the elephant in the room.
Pretty much. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, like, we're not even going to talk about how we're feeling today. Like, what happened, guys? Like, why stop it, like, right in the middle of the season? What do you guys think about the daily disappointment and drama?
However, really quick, let's take another moment of silence for Connor Daly career. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What?
All right. So, thoughts. Go ahead.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
You're the IndyCar expert, Daniel. Go ahead.
Okay, I have some thoughts. First of all, shout out to Connor Daly. He's a fan favorite. Social media was not very happy with this decision when it was kind of made public. Pretty much just in the middle of the day, randomly, out of nowhere. All of a sudden, Racer released an article about it, and then you saw ECR, after like 30 minutes, had a statement, and then Nathan Brown had some information. Everything just started coming up out of nowhere. And I wasn't expecting it, because, let's be real, while we all thought Connor Daly wasn't going to make it to next season in an ECR car, he's contracted to the end of the year. So we all figured he'd make it to the end of the year, but apparently ECR had some other thoughts. We don't know details. We don't know what prompted this. Everyone has assumptions, but I don't want to jump to any conclusions because we don't know the full story. We don't know if it was ECR wanting to just get a younger guy. We don't know if maybe there were contractual disputes or something behind the scenes. We might never know. And so that's why I don't want to say, like, I think people need to stop jumping on, like, just defending Connor, just defending ECR. It can be both ways. So while we get that out of the way, holy crap, this came out of nowhere. I am intrigued to see what happens with it, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts before we kind of expand more on whatever just happened today.
Tristan?
Okay, so I'm not surprised that Connor Daly got released. As Daniel said, I did not expect him to be back with ECR next season. However, the biggest surprise that I have is that you drop him mid-season for a guy who pretty much single-handedly brought you the entire sponsorship for your team. Speaking to Todd last season, when we talked to Todd, the owner of BitNile at Mid-Ohio, they were all high on Connor, and then there's the rumors that it's going to be BitNile Ed Carpenter Racing next season. BitNile's not going anywhere. So was it BitNile's decision to let go of Connor Daly, or was this Ed Carpenter Racing's decision? It's one of those things where you think you don't really know. But this is important for Connor Daly's career, but this is also important for a lot of other drivers who might be trying to get back in IndyCar, might be looking for a seat in IndyCar. And in my opinion, there's 3 possible options for this seat for the remainder of the season, because you got to fill it by Road America in the next couple of weeks. So I'm not surprised for Connor Daly. I think this leads more implications that he is going to be going to NASCAR, like a lot of people predicted at the beginning of the season that he was going to make it in 2024. I am sad that we're not going to be able to see him, but he had a good last Indy 500. I'm sure it won't be his final Indy 500.
He's too popular. There's no way it's his last.
What I'm excited about is that all the Connor Daly merch at IMS is about to go way down in price, so make sure you get your Connor Daly merch. But I mean, Jay, before we talk about who we think is going to fill the seat, I mean, you can go. I mean,
to me, like, I feel like this whole thing there's 2 different views on it, because Ed Carpenter, I have both quotes pulled up here, says, "This is the most difficult decision I have made as a team owner because I respect Connor and know what he means to IndyCar and its fans." But Connor says, "Although we've mutually decided that it's in our best interest to take different paths, I'd like to thank ECR for the past 3.5 seasons." That's where I'm drawing my kind of line on this, because someone's either fired and not saying anything and they're trying to make it look mutual, or I don't know, something's like being misconstrued here in the background. That's all I'm trying to say.
There's a piece of the puzzle we're missing.
Yeah, there's something missing. Is it, maybe it's BitNile themselves, you know?
Yeah,
it could be. And I mean, Connor actually, I think, released a statement last week saying something about how, like, as long as Todd is like a very loyal guy, he'll follow me. I'm sure he'll follow me if I go anywhere or something and stuff like that. And I don't know, like, it's weird that he just gets released mid-season. Like, that's what bothers me with it. Like, this, I thought this, when you guys talked about this in the group chat earlier, I thought this was like, okay, they're releasing him at the end of the season. Not necessarily a surprise. And then I started, like, once I got to break at work, I looked on my phone, and it was all like, he's being released, like, right now. Like, Detroit was his last race. I was like, are you serious? Like, what? I mean, like, that doesn't even make sense.
And it's kind of sad because you think about it, to answer Iron Kong's question in the comments, he actually did have a podium, and it was at the old Detroit configuration in 2016. That was Connor Daly's only podium in IndyCar. So it's kind of sad that he gets his highest moment, really, of his career in Detroit, and also his lowest moment of his career in Detroit.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead, continue. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's all I kind of have to really say about it. I mean, there's not much else that I can really, like, expand on from there. Like, that's just my take on everything. Something's misconstrued somewhere. There's a piece of the puzzle missing here, because Connor says it's a mutual split. Ed Carpenter says we've let him go. So, I don't know.
I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But R.I.P. Connor Daly's IndyCar career. Now we got to talk about who's going to replace him because there's a 20 car that needs to be driven, and in my opinion, there's 3 drivers.
Should we just get the easy one out of the way though?
So obviously, Linus Lundqvist
Yeah.
is
Who's literally testing tomorrow as we
Yeah.
record. He's
Who
testing
is
tomorrow.
going to most likely be the driver that does it. However, I don't see this being just strictly a Linus Lundqvist for the remainder of the season kind of drive. I think this
I
could be
agree.
rotation of drivers. The second driver I think this could be is Ryan Hunter-Ray. I think Ryan Hunter-Ray possibly does ovals. And then the third driver, I'm just kind of pointing this out there. A lot of people are going to say it's going to be Josh Pearson, who is in that development system. I don't think
He can't.
he literally
He's 16.
he literally can't. My bold prediction, just because I think some chips are going to fall the way that they do, I think this is going to be possibly a Nick DeVries going to IndyCar this season. Maybe that's my long shot pick.
That's the long shot, I think.
Mhm.
I
That's-
could definitely,
that's-
I could see Takuma Sato, honestly,
Ooh,
Yeah.
stepping in for the
I'll
rest of the
throw one
season.
out. I'll throw one out. Oliver Askew.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll just-
IndyCar's retirement.
Well, no,
career.
because he's in Formula E, so probably not.
Is he this
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
Is he still with Andretti?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
He's on the first.
Mid podcast research. It says former teams. Former team. Avalanche Andretti. I don't think he is in Formula E.
I don't know about that. Dude. I'm pretty sure he is because I just saw someone like Formula E
He's-
post about him.
He's a commentator. Okay. He is a commentator for Formula E.
Think
during
about-
the 2023
okay.
season.
Going back to the comments, think about possibly Yuri Vips. You know, I mean, he could be a guy that could come into this seat possibly as well. He does have a test coming up. I mean,
My thing on that. So my thought process originally, again, I don't know if this is for sure what the thought process was behind this move. My immediate thoughts were, all right, so ECR gets Daly out. They've got an open seat. They're already testing Linus. Get Linus in that seat. He's a rookie. It'll get him some time in the seat. Linus has 2 main teams interested in him, and it's ECR and it's Rahal Letterman Lanigan.
who would you
So
rather?
I
go
think they're trying to pull him in, saying
Yeah.
we'll let you in the seat for at least part of this season, get you accustomed to the car. The next season, if you re-sign with us on a long-term deal, like we've given you this opportunity. That's my thought process, and I think if that happens, Rahal's still going to be fine because they tested 2 drivers to potentially fill that 30 car, and one of those is Yuri Vips. So I don't necessarily think Yuri Vips goes over to ECR. I think Yuri Vips waits in the wing for that 30 car to open up whenever Jack Harvey gets the boot.
Sure.
Assuming that happens. Again, silly season is weird.
I mean,
we
you
don't
also
know what's
have
going
to
to
talk
happen.
Graham Rahal is possibly on the way out. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been talking about how this is probably his final season in IndyCar, full time at least. I mean, I bet he does the 500 next year, but well, I mean, if he qualifies,
I was gonna say something.
Yeah,
didn't
I was
listen.
kind of thinking if Rahal
Um,
can figure out their oval program.
but I don't know. But Jay, who's your prediction for this seat?
I'm going the easy route, Linus. It's Linus.
I'm doing a
it's gotta
rotation.
be Linus.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm doing a rotation between. I think Linus does the road courses, and I think Hunter Ray does the ovals for the remainder of the season. So I think
Yeah.
we see Hunter Ray at Iowa and Gateway, and Linus at the rest of the races.
I
That's
think.
what I
For,
think.
I think for full time it can be between Linus and Takuma. Honestly.
Yeah, I
And
would
then
like
if something with Ryan Hunter Ray doesn't
sure
work
he's
out,
doing the ovals
Sato could do the oval. Sato
CGR.
could do the ovals.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Sato's doing the ovals for CGR.
He's not. He's not. It's not confirmed.
Oh.
He was just doing the first 2, and then it's open from there. So
Yep.
the thought process is probably they're going to make Armstrong start doing the ovals, probably at Iowa.
Because you also want Armstrong to lock down that Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you want Armstrong to get ready for ovals so he can do it next year.
Yeah.
did any of us
Kinda
pick
like-
him for Rookie of the Year? Did any of us
I did.
pick Marcus
I did.
Armstrong?
I
Daniel
had
did.
Canapino. I had Canapino.
I picked
I was
Stingray.
big brained, bro.
Yeah.
My poor buddy. Poor buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of which, that was a funny tweet. I don't know if y'all saw that tweet that Tony Donahue put out. So that's actually a joke from the month of May. So me and Tony are at the Winners Drink Milk event, which is the rookie dinner, the rookie luncheon, and that's when they all milk the cows and stuff. So me and Tony are standing there, and there was a woman who walked up to Tony and said, "You don't have to wait here. Here's your name tag." And it's like a Stingray Rob name tag. She goes, "That's not me." And so that's why the picture was taken. And
okay.
so,
That makes sense now. I was wondering why he said, "Do we look alike?" I was like, I mean,
I was
kind
like,
of. I was like, kind of,
like
but...
cousins. I don't know.
Cousins, yeah. Like you're from the same bloodline, maybe, but
I don't know. Well, you're both white guys, is with solid noses. So I mean, like
tall white guys. That'll do it.
with a solid nose. Anyway, well, that's the big IndyCar news that we had. Might as well talk NASCAR now. I mean, let's do it.
I mean, yeah. I didn't think I was going to have any news till about noon today.
I don't think so.
We didn't have any till noon, and that was when the daily news hit, and I was like, all right, we got a lot to talk about off of one thing.
All right. I have a pretty big stories. So, first thing we got to talk about is obviously NASCAR is fielding a Garage 56 entry at Le Mans this weekend. And boy, oh boy, that car is fast. Their straight line speed is 4, and their lap times are 4 seconds faster than any other car in the field. All I'm hearing is, "What the heck is a kilometer, baby? We're winning Le Mans." We need to get that in the soundboard.
Eagle screams in the background.
We need to get that in the background. Anyway, so hype. I hope Jimmy, Jensen, and Mike can bring it home. Their pit crew also won the pit crew challenge, so that is awesome for Garage 56. Todd Yoland is back with Ricker Racing this weekend. He's going to be driving the 51. Eric Almirola is still undecided about his retirement this weekend. He is doing double duty this weekend at Sonoma, driving the number 28 for Kyle Sieg. That normally is his spot, but it's going to be him this weekend. That makes complete sense. So Almirola going to be in a double spot. Personally, I think that the 10 seat is going to Michael McDowell next year. So I think that's just a fun, strong thing to go for that. This is a big announcement. This was a penalty. Following Gateway, the 43 team of Eric Jones has been given an L1 penalty, which is $75,000, a loss of 60 driver and team owner points, and 5 NASCAR playoff points. In the truck series, Christian Exis was given a lug nut penalty and fined $2,500. And the O2 team of Chris Hacker received a window net penalty, which is kind of just like a warning. But the crew chief, Andrew Abbott, of Hacker's team was fined $5,000, and the team was given a loss of 25 driver's points. Hacker received no personal driver's points loss, but the team did lose 25 points. So those are the penalties for this past weekend. And then the biggest news that came early this morning, live from Le Mans, is that, okay, I'm going to try and say it correctly. The boys tried to get me to say it in the beginning.
Kamui Kobayashi.
Kamui Kobayashi, the former F1 driver and the former FIA World Endurance. He drives in currently the FIA World Endurance Championship for Toyota Gazoo Racing, is going to be in the number 67 car at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, baby. Let's go. We're gonna be there.
Yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. Y'all know I've been wanting this.
Because so I saw this tweet. I'm gonna try and find it. I don't remember who tweeted it, but
Let's go racing, boys!
But the hype, and I'm just hype about it, but the similarities between Trackhouse Racing and 2311 Racing, you guys both came in at the same season. Both the teams found early success in NASCAR. Obviously, 2311 Racing winning in their first season at Talladega. Trackhouse Racing having good finishes throughout the year. Buying Chip Ganassi Racing, almost winning the championship last season was big for them. But then they both run the third car where they have drivers from all around the world come and try NASCAR starts. Kobayashi was quoted in saying that this is his dream. It's a big sport in the United States and racing in Europe, and I never had the chance or the opportunity to race in NASCAR. I think it'll be a great opportunity to challenge myself because it's such a different category. I have heard from my friends like Jensen Button and other drivers that they have had so much fun racing in NASCAR, and I think it's my time to shine. So he's pretty solid. He's won the Le Mans in 2021 for Toyota. Has 6 podium finishes and 8 appearances.
Kristen, I don't think you know how hyped I am for this. I have been calling for this for 2 years since I watched the Rolex 24 for the first time and saw this man go absolutely demon time as soon as the sun left the sky, demon mode, bro. Kobayashi
I remember
is
exactly
so good. I am ready for this. Indy is about to listen.
Explode.
I don't even have words to explain this. The only things I can say is exactly what Jensen Button said on Twitter, and he tagged him and said, "See you in turn 1," because I'm so excited. You can have your opinions on the Indy road course race all you want. It is chaos.
Excuse me.
And while it might be annoying, it is fun, at least for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then our final piece of news is that NASCAR is considering a return to Montreal, which is Circuit des Gilles Villeneuve. And so I'd love to see NASCAR return there, possibly do an Xfinity start before we go cup racing there. But I like it. If it replaces Portland, that's cool with me. Let's
Chicago
get it.
better get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
The formulas. I mean, Connor's already learning it.
Formulas? What the formulas?
Hey.
All right. All right. So over the past weekend, on World Environment Day, the Formula E drivers, teams, partners, and staff of the Formula E World Championship all came together to clear plastic and waste from a beach next to the International Jakarta E-Prix circuit ahead of the Gulvit Jakarta E-Prix this weekend to support World Environment Day. So I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to report on that. Over the past weekend, we had the Spanish GP talking about Formula 2 and Formula 3. Ollie Bierman, Enzo Fittipaldi, and Victor Martins were your podium in F2, and Frederick Vesti won the sprint race at Barcelona as well. Formula 3, your winners were Zach O'Sullivan and Josep Maria Marti. And then I'm going to run through really fast over what your point standings looks like for F2, just to give a little refresher on that, because we haven't talked about F2 in a while, so I figured I'd catch everybody up, and myself, I guess. The top 5: Frederick Vesti, Theo Pucher, Ayumu Iwasa, Oliver Bierman, and Dennis Hauger, your top 5 in F2. In F3, it's Gabriel Bordaletto, Josep Maria Marti, and Dino Begananovic, Gabriel Mini, and Paul Aron to round out the top 5 in F3. And now, moving on to the Formula Un news. Starting off, this is all from the Fastest Pit Stop. Got a shout out to them on Twitter. Mercedes have reportedly agreed to extend George Russell's contract until 2025, and it's also being reported that Lewis Hamilton's renewal is being finalized as well. Next up, Nelson Piquet has lost his last appeal, which has been denied, and officially will have to pay $5 million around. I don't know what the the Brazilian currency is, but around $1 million. To funds to promote racial equality and against discrimination for the LGBTQIA plus community. He was sentenced to this because he made some racist and homophobic comments about Lewis Hamilton. I can't believe it was either last year or 2021 when that happened. I can't really remember.
I think last year.
But yeah, it was in the last 2 years. I remember it. Next up, plans for a Grand Prix at Kyalami have actually reportedly been abandoned because of South Africa's close relationship with Russia. This likely means that the Belgian Grand Prix. This likely means that the Belgian Grand Prix. This likely means that the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa will stay on the race calendar for at least another year. So I personally do like to hear that. My final thing, Domenicali, the head of F1, Stefano Domenicali, is aiming to increase the number of teams on the grid to 12 by the year 2026. Big teams
But what's
like
the butt, Jay?
Yeah, listen. But big teams like Ferrari have shown openness to the addition of new teams. However, there's an expectation that the entry fee for these new teams will significantly rise. Currently, the entry fee stands at $200 million, but some rumors suggest that it could be raised to, what do you guys think?
I'm gonna go 400 million.
I know the correct answer because I saw this article.
Ah, yeah.
I just want the confirmation, Jay. Does
So
this
you
number
think-
start with an M or a B?
It's a B.
1 billion, baby.
Yup, 1 billion which would then be distributed. Yeah, 1 billion to enter
Kristen is
F1.
speechless. For real. Dude, that was literally my brain reading that article today.
Which one is that one on the soundboard? I don't see that one.
It's from a.
It's on a different one.
It's from the left turn lounge. It's like the NASCAR server. That,
Jay's bougie and he has Discord Nitro because he's a Discord mod.
Okay, all right, but yeah. So that's 1 billion to enter F1. Honestly, at this point that F1 is going, I think it's gonna be like this boom that they had, like NASCAR had in the 90s. I think that's what's kind of happening to F1, and it's gonna die out really fast, and like it's gonna basically be a repeat of NASCAR from the 90s into the 2000s to the 2010s. And
Hopefully we
So
don't
what you're
see,
saying-
like, start and park F1 cars though.
What you're saying, though, all I'm hearing is IndyCar's time is coming.
I mean,
Nah, I'm sorry, buddy.
as much as I
Listen.
would love it to be IndyCar's time, because IndyCar probably has the best racing of the three, in my opinion. I don't know.
According to Will Power, it's the best racing league in the world.
Will Power, yeah.
It's not even a probably.
We did it for Dan. Dylan Wilton, theshopindy.com. Anyway,
But yeah, that's all I got for the Formula.
buy that one
so.
more. All right. Well, I guess it's time to talk about these races. So let's go ahead and do it.
Where are we going first?
Let's start with Detroit,
All right.
just so we have something
Alrighty.
positive to talk about.
About IndyCar, yeah.
All right. What's the
Yeah.
highlight?
Okay. So IndyCar was in Detroit. Usually they've gone to Detroit in past years, but they were not at Belle Isle this time. They were on the streets of Detroit. And everyone was really scared because this track was really, really, really tight. But surprisingly, it didn't affect the racing too much. It did a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it did a little bit. But some of the drivers before the race were saying they thought this was going to be worse than Nashville. And that's a high bar. It was not that bad.
Yeah.
In fact, this race was actually pretty good for the most part. I think outside of the first few incidents, it was a mostly clean race, just with some cautions here and there for people just kind of getting in runoffs and stalling. It really wasn't that dirty of a race. But I don't know. I thought it was a good race. I thought it was a pretty good showing for a first-time event. What do you guys think about the new track at Detroit?
I mean, it was okay. I like Belle Isle. So I'm.
But the people in Belle Isle did not.
Yes. The people of Belle Isle did not like the IndyCar race.
I don't care.
They absolutely hated it.
According to Tony Donahue, people in Detroit didn't really care. So I mean, like,
Hey, but you know who did? You know who did? Flava Flav, baby.
Yeah.
Top
Again
tier.
and again, ski
That-
team
that
Penske,
made-
yes sir.
That made every broadcast on Peacock, on NBC. It was worth it for Flava Flav.
Bro.
Did not have that on my bingo card.
Flava Flav. I never thought I'd see a
Flav.
picture of Roger Penske and Flava Flav together.
Dude,
Here we are.
when he called Kevin Lee from the TOP, that's when I knew this race was about to be amazing.
Dude, for real. And it was amazing after that. That's what's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like it was a good weekend.
Honestly, I really think this is the way the race played out to me. Like, it wasn't overly controversial and it wasn't overly caution filled. There were cautions, yes, and it did cause a lot of drama, especially between Rosenquist and Rossi. But I honestly, I thought the whole weekend was absolutely phenomenal. Like, as much as I hate the track, I did not like the design of the track. I don't like how skinny some of the like sections of the track are. It was good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was good. I have to admit, it was good.
Yeah, but before we get to anything covering like the Indy cars, Indy Next had a classic in the first race.
Both of them were good.
The second was good, but that first race,
Yeah, that first one was awesome.
Best in pepperonis.
he was special.
Nolan Siegel, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Engine crapping out. Jagger Jones on the podium.
Yeah,
Francis
that podium was kind of a banger of a podium. I'm not even gonna lie.
Who even won the race?
It was Reese Gold.
That's right.
Right after we thought him at HND was crappy after his weird race at Indy, comes out and wins the next race. Indy Next is probably the most unpredictable series right now.
Dude, I don't know who's gonna freaking win the race. We went from last season knowing it was either gonna be a Linus or an Andretti car winning each week to it's anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got a 50-50 shot. It's an HMD car, but
It's true.
they're all for the most part competitive.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P. Christian Bogle.
yeah, but
Rest in peace.
shout out to Reese Gold getting his first win, and shout out to Nolan Siegel getting his first win at Indy Next. Nolan Siegel just won an Indy Next race before he graduated high school.
Woo!
Yeah.
Think about that. That makes me
He almost won too.
feel he almost won 2 Indy Next
And then
races
he's
before he
also the
graduated high school.
drama, the drama between Andretti, between the two teammates with McElroy and Foster. Foster visibly angry on social media. McElroy did not address this at all and I believe, but
He on the broadcast, or I don't know if he said it on the broadcast, but they brought it up on the second day at least. He said something about how just because of how tight the track is, especially at the beginning of the race when everybody's too wide, all stacked up, he just didn't know when he was going to brake, and there was no anticipating. You can't just anticipate that off the rip.
no, it's cool.
And we saw that in the IndyCar race too. I mean, we did see Callum Ilott go somewhat in the air.
Tow trucking.
First of all,
he got tow truck.
why has Kyle Kirkwood been in 3 incidents where someone goes in the air?
But I mean,
Dude, the Kyle Kirkwood seeing the 2023 IndyCar script.
Dude, I'm glad it didn't cost Kyle Kirkwood's day because he had a solid weekend.
Kyle Kirkwood out here going, like he's
Dude, whoever wrote the script for the season really has beef with Kyle Kirkwood.
Callum Ilott be like, like I like Callum
Graham
Ilott.
Rahal under yellow be like that for real.
Yeah, for real. Oh my god, my dad. I didn't get to watch the beginning of this race, but my dad just goes, "Dude, Graham Rahal, what's going on?" And he goes, "Dude, Callum Ilott, what's going on?" And I love Callum Ilott. I love Graham Rahal, but man, what are we doing?
But that's the thing in IndyCar. Any given week, someone can have a really good week, and someone can have a really bad week. And it doesn't matter what team you're on. It doesn't matter who you are, who your daddy is. You know, like, it does not matter.
Who is your father?
Bobby Rahal. But I think this race was good. We had a pretty good winner for the first race. We had Alex Palou win. He also won the pole. And as I believe, Jay, did you say we had some controversy? Or was that Tristan?
I said that with Rossi and Felix Rosenquist.
Rosenquist.
That's one of the questions I have for you guys. So, if you don't know, if you didn't watch this race, in the last 10 laps probably, Felix Rosenquist and Alexander Rossi, teammates at Arrow McLaren, they were just getting really racy as they're both trying to go for top 5, top 3, potentially going to win the race. And on the last lap, Felix Rosenqvist was just getting really aggressive with Rossi, running straight into him on corners, not necessarily like wrecking him or anything, but kind of taking him out of the way so that he could get the podium. Rossi was in second, I believe, at the time, and then fell down to finishing 5th. So I want to like know what your guys' opinion is. Do you have a side in this? Do you think racing teammates is fine, or do you think there should be somewhat of like a mercy or like grace when it's teammates?
So I think Felix said it himself best. I think because he was trying to get to the inside of Rossi, and Rossi was really aggressive with him on entry, and on exit he gave it back to him. I mean, Rossi raced him really aggressive on entry. He gave it back to him on exit. I mean, he shouldn't have ran him into the wall like he did. I mean, it didn't really damage anything, so it wasn't as controversial as it could have been.
What did Rossi say? That was really funny.
Oh, he said we'll discuss it in private or something like that.
Yeah, but
they're trying to get him to say something controversial, and he was like, "Well, we'll discuss it. Team matters."
Yeah, but but I honestly think that it was fair. In my opinion, I think the way both of them raced each other, it was fair. I mean, Rosenqvist probably could have done without the putting in the wall, but nothing got hurt, nothing got damaged. Could have been, but it didn't. So that's how I think of it. Fair.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I agree, because I think if you look at it, Rosenqvist is practically racing for a job. We don't know where he's going to be next year. And he's trying to get as many points as he can. We kind of heard rumors at the beginning of the season that it would take a top 2 finish in the championship for him to return at McLaren. I don't know if that's still the case, but
I mean, there's always rumors I've seen that Rosenqvist could be possibly in a 4th car next season.
But there's also rumors that if there's a 4th car, it could be Ericsson. So it's like he's really in a weird spot, and I feel really bad for him. But he's driving for his job. And also, last bit, this was a hot take I kind of thought about. I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. Pato O'Ward is having a weird season. And dare I say, this is a very Colton Herta-esque season for him.
Well, if you look at the start of the season, he was in a good spot. But I think now he's starting to do things and overdrive the car. And he's not thinking with his head. He's not thinking consistency. He's thinking win. I mean, he can win on any given weekend. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying he can't. But I think he's just thinking win too much. He's not thinking of the bigger picture. He was sitting in the top 2 in points, actually leading the points for most of the season.
First stretch of the season, yeah.
The beginning of the month of May.
Yeah, and after, and I mean, I guess the incident with him and Dixon didn't hurt him intentionally. I think that was still an incident that should have gotten some sort of review on it. But
I think Dixon has some real estate in his head, bro.
Yeah.
After that, he has not been the same.
But, like, I think because Pato was sitting first or second in the standings, he's 5th now after these last 2 DNFs. Like, he's starting to try and drive in over his head, in my opinion, I think. That's how I kind of feel. And it's no hate towards Pato because I love Pato. And I think that Pato he needs to calm down and think bigger picture. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tristan, what do you think?
I mean, same thing. I mean, Pato is still going to be there at the end of the championship. It's 2 bad weeks in a row. You're going to Road America where you're really good. I mean, you're going to have to fight the guy who's probably going to be your teammate next season in Alex Palou. But you know what I mean?
What are you going to do?
I mean,
It is what it is.
Go out there, try to get a top 5, keep it clean. No stripes on the bad boy. I mean, it is what it is.
You just gotta finish, bro. Finish. You know you can finish well too. You just gotta finish the race. Like that's all.
Finish the race like Rory LaJoy. You know what I mean? Speaking of Rory LaJoy.
Well, can I go over the top 10?
Go ahead.
Okay. Top 10 Detroit. We'll finish talking about Detroit. Alex Palou was your winner. Rounding out the podium was Will Power and Felix Rosenqvist. Top 5 had Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi in it. Rest of the top 10, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, Marcus Armstrong, rookie, Marcus Ericsson, and Joseph Newgarden. And then your championship standings. Currently, your championship leader is Alex Palou. He's up by 51 points. Some people think he's run away with this. It ain't over till it's over. Just saying. In second is Marcus Ericsson with Joseph Newgarden right behind him. Fourth and fifth, Scott Dixon, Pato Award. Rounding out the top 10 of the championships, Alexander Rossi, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, Colton Herta, and Felix Rosenquist. And then just outside is Roman Grosjean and Kyle Kirkwood. So it's a really interesting season so far. I'm interested to see what happens in the rest.
Yep. All right. NASCAR, Tristan. NASCAR.
So this race had.
Try job! Try job!
Okay. We're done.
We jumped the shark.
One second. Just because this was Gateway.
Oh, this was Gateway. Okay.
This is Gateway. This race had two big storylines. The first one being, obviously, Chase Elliott is not in the seat this week, and he's being filled by Chase Elliott. No, he's not being filled by Chase Elliott. He's being filled by Corey LaJoie, and then Carson Hocevar is going to be in the 7 car. And then you also had the, kind of just the fact that we had that Indy 500 blew a 3-0 lead to Gateway for red flags. There was a lot of brake rotor problems in this race. We had 4 drivers retire from this race because of brake rotor issues. The first being Carson Hocevar, both the 2311 racing cars of Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. And then one more that I'm forgetting, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I believe.
No, Ricky was in the crash with...
That's right. I'm forgetting who was the final brake rotor issue at the moment, but... I can always check the NASCAR app, but NASCAR has not addressed what the brake rotor issue was, or if it affected anything. But something else that happened during this race is that we just lost all connection to NASCAR for a solid 2 minutes. The radio
AT&T really said.
The radio broadcast went out. NASCAR radio went out. The drivers could not hear their spotters or anything for a solid 2 minutes. And NASCAR's like, it wasn't our fault. It was the track. Okay.
It was AT&T.
They said, I saw something from Adam Stern. He said a coax connector or something somewhere, I guess exploded or just went out or just stopped working or responding. I can't remember his exact wording on it, but all I know is it was a coax connector or something. It was a coax connector. It just kind of went out. So, but yeah.
I mean a hot Cheeto and it's real good. So, this race, I'm not going to lie to you, it was ass. This race sucked, and it's fine. That's fine. Hey, that man did have fun, because Kyle Busch brought home his 3rd win of the season. I'm not sounding too crazy now, am I? That I said that Kyle Busch is winning 5 races this year.
Calm down, bro. You said Byron wasn't getting 1 win.
Hey.
That's true.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You are not wrong. Anyway, so all I gotta say is congrats, Kyle Busch, on a good win. Corey LaJoie had an average finish for Hendrick. I don't think they brought their best car for Corey. He actually had his worst race, in my opinion, of the season at Gateway. And I don't think that the lights were too bright for him. I just think that Hendrick just probably didn't give him a really good car. Hey, it is what it is. I'll read the top 10. Kyle Busch got the win. Denny Hamlin 2nd. Joey Logano 3rd. Kyle Larson 4th, who almost stole this race away. Martin Truex Jr. Then we had Ryan Blaney. Daniel Suarez gets his first top 10 in a while. William Byron, Michael McDowell, who somehow made it stick on 2 tires, and then Kevin Harvick. I do want to shout out Todd Gilliland, though, with a solid P15 finish. And then I also want to shout out Bubba Wallace, who was running in the top 5 for a lot of this race. But another brake rotor issue, fighting for a 10th position. That's all I got to say. Updated point standing.
Noah Gragson was the
And then currently the driver standings, we got a new bad boy and leading the points. His name's Ryan Blaney. He is the new points leader by 13 points. followed by William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, Chris Bell, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bubba Wallace, and Daniel Suarez. Suarez, with that top 10, moves in front of Alex Bowman, who is currently the first car out. Then after him, we have Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, and Corey LaJoie on the cut line. Notable drivers that are outside the top 25 in points: Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Chase Briscoe. Very notable drivers that are outside the top 20. Some of those drivers are outside the top 30 in points. So, hey.
If they get a win, it doesn't matter anymore.
That's true. That is true. But hey, all I want to say is I would love to see anarchy arise if Chase Elliott doesn't make the playoffs. I want to see the numbers drop. I am here for chaos. Anyway.
But Chase Elliott is back, Tristan.
I don't care. At all. At this point. You can be a Chase Elliott fan. I don't care. I just personally, I don't get the whole media thing behind him. You can't have him get hurt, have Bowman get hurt, actually worse, and then give Elliott the commercial and Bowman not one. Sorry, NASCAR. I don't.
Well, you can, and they did.
I don't care. Anyway, that's all I got to talk about with NASCAR. Jay, I don't believe we had. Did we have an F1 race? Yes, we did.
Spain.
Oh my god, we did have an F1 race. I completely forgot. Go ahead.
But all right, so we were in Spain, España, for the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So as we
shout
get
out
into
to
this,
those Burke boys.
yeah, and that's one of my questions. I'll just lead in with that. So we saw both the Mercedes boys after they decided to throw some good developments on the car apparently, and some rather really big side pods on the car. They made a big improvement. Christian Horner said that he was like, well, they were 23 seconds behind us, but they do seem like real contenders. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this season plays out.
They might have been 20 seconds behind this week, but week 1 they were down by 50 seconds.
Yeah,
so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but that was my question. What is your guys' predictions for Mercedes?
This is as good as it's gonna get.
You think so?
I think we'll stay in like a podium a week, and that's it.
Yeah, Daniel.
I don't see them winning a race this season. Red Bull is too
Russell
good,
gets one.
and Aston Martin is too good.
Right.
I think Russell gets one win. I think it might be a kind of weird one.
Which track? Where's Max crashing at?
I mean, he won at Brazil last year, and we didn't expect that. But
I just feel like every season there's one race that's just kind of weird. Like, remember 2 seasons ago when Esteban Ocon just like randomly won? Like, that could happen with somebody this year.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, it was just kind of an open-ended thought.
Well, yeah, and this also leads me into my second question: is what is the battle for second place? Who's gonna take home the second place? Because it's looked like it's gonna be Ferrari, then it also has looked like it's gonna be Aston Martin, then it's also looked like now it could be Mercedes, and now Alpine is kind of in the fight for it, in my opinion. Who's the toss-up for this second place? Like, I hate that we're just talking about
AlphaTauri,
but AlphaTauri, okay.
Ain't no way. I say it's Mercedes. I say it's Mercedes simply for the fact that even though Alonso is really dominant and really good, it's like the teammate dynamic, like you have to have 2 really good cars, not just one.
Right.
And unfortunately, I just don't think the whole team is in that way to contend every week. I think Alonso is, but I don't know if Stroll is, to be honest.
However,
I thought he was going to take that jump.
I'm going to say Aston Martin. That's just me.
Aston Martin?
I thought Stroll would take the jump by now, and he just hasn't. I don't know. I need to see more.
He's not been bad. It's just he hasn't been on Alonso's level, which, I mean, Alonso is a championship-winning driver, of course.
But he had such high expectations coming into the season.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see him maybe getting used to the car. I don't know. I mean, it could still be getting used to it. I don't know. I mean, we're, 7, 8 rounds in so far now, and he still, like you said, hasn't taken the jump. I don't know. I think it's honestly, I think it's gonna be Mercedes too, because I think they have the most longevity of the teams that are kind of contending for this second spot in each race and such. So, as much as I'd love to see Mercedes like win, I don't think they're gonna win this season. I think Red Bull will win every single race this season. Unless both DNF, of course, but I doubt that as well. So, yeah, I think Mercedes is the contender for that second spot. And final question about Spain, before I get into top 10 and driver standings and team standings. What about Lando Norris? He had such a good qualifying, and then lap 1.
I know the answer.
Right to the back.
I know the answer.
I wonder if he got the blue screen like last time. Poor guy.
I know the, and it's a one-word answer.
Answer it.
It is McLaren.
It is what?
It is McLaren. McLaren is the answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why
I pulled home points. So.
Hold up, you're lagging, Tristan. But yeah, I don't know. He had such a good qualifying to turn around and in the race just not do good. I can't remember. I think he may have had contact with someone on lap 1. So I could be blanking that, but I don't know. I was kind of falling asleep because it was kind of early in the morning. It was like 7, 8 in the morning, so I was kind of in and out of sleep as I was watching the race. But I mean,
this is why we're built different. You wake up early. I just watch the YouTube recap.
I don't. I watched the actual race.
You're a real F1 fan. I am a
real.
I'm just a casual.
Yeah, but getting into the driver standings and constructors, I don't even need to read first place. You already know who that is. Sergio Perez second, Fernando Alonso third,
Logan Sargent,
Lewis Hamilton fourth, George Russell fifth, Carlos Sainz sixth, Charles Leclerc seventh, Lance Stroll eighth, Esteban Ocon ninth, and Pierre Gasly was 10th in this race, or in the standings. Constructors, it's of course Red Bull. Mercedes is second, Aston Martin is third, Ferrari fourth, Alpine is fifth. This fight for second is looking pretty good. Mercedes has 152 points, Aston Martin 134, Ferrari 100. So that's gonna be a 3-way battle for second in the constructors this season. So I find that very interesting. And I forgot to mention the podium. It was Verstappen, Hamilton, and Russell. Hamilton and Russell joined the Verstappen podcast this week. New guests. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it for Spain. That's all I got to talk about. Very brief.
I think this is my impression of Carlos Sainz right now to Ferrari. I think it's a pretty good one. You ready? Help! Help me!
I mean, him and Charles are both doing that. So
yeah. Leclerc's just. I feel like Leclerc's problems haven't been on the team. I think that's just been on Leclerc.
Listen, I've got my Leclerc impression down.
Let's see it.
Bruh.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
Listen.
Well, I mean, this past weekend, Leclerc, like, the car was not right. That was on the team.
It's a Ferrari.
Weekend.
It's never right.
This past weekend, that was on Ferrari.
EOV, I'm Charles Leclerc at Miami.
Yeah. I mean,
that has been
him. Yeah, him.
We're so sleep deprived.
We're sleep deprived. But, yeah, I don't know. That's all I got to talk about for Spain. You guys want to get into some predictions?
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
So, the guest predictor is not going to be, like, live or on the episode, but we are going to have the man, the myth, the legend himself on the screen here in just a moment once I get it added. But last week, I did the best this past weekend. I'm just going to say
you did,
that.
bro.
I'm going to brag. But, so I got a point with getting Kyle Busch correct for Gateway. That's what that racetrack's called. Oh no, I sized the wrong thing down. I meant to size the picture.
I just see a picture of Tony's face.
Yeah, that's all it is right now.
I think that's the picture we gotta have. I think that's just how the episode should be. I think that's beautiful.
Just
That
the
is
whole
the
time.
episode, actually.
But yeah, last week I got a point for picking Kyle Busch to win Gateway, and I got a point for Max Verstappen and finishing first in Spain. And Daniel also got a point for finishing for Max finishing first in Spain. And our guest on the show last week, Darren Gilliam, Black Flags Matter, also got a point for Max, giving the guest total to 3. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we choked. We choked that one away.
Yep. The totals between us 3, it's 11, 7-7. Tristan 11, me and Daniel both have 7 at this point. So
I would like to say though that I think Tony Donahue has a very good taste in shirts.
that's true. He does. He does have very good taste in shirts. But let's go ahead. Let's get Tony's predictions put in here into the prediction spreadsheet. So we only have NASCAR and Xfinity this weekend. His picks, let me pull up his text message currently. He picked for Xfinity. Who do you guys think he picks for Xfinity?
I think he picked the homie Sheldon Creed.
Nope.
I think
Hi, Dylan.
No.
Ty Dillon.
Tony,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, he picked Ty Dillon for Xfinity, and then in Cup, he picked Martin Truex Jr. and Michael McDowell.
He can't keep getting away with this.
I will say this Xfinity Series race is pretty dang star-studded, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ty Dillon. I'm sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face. We got AJ Allmendinger in this thing, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, Eric Almirola, Josh Bilicki, Sage Karam, Ross Chastain. Pretty star-studded event. You can never forget about Brad Perez. I mean,
Brad Perez.
Brad.
That boy Brad, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot to mention, his group pick was AJ Allmendinger.
any race.
Okay.
I think he means Cup. So,
Okay.
You tell me I
Okay.
can't pick AJ Allmendinger at a road course.
yeah.
It's a
You can in this race, buddy.
But yeah, that was his guess. That was the guest pick. So, or the guest group pick. So, yeah.
Mhm.
But let's get into it. We only have Xfinity and Cup to cover. Who wants to start?
Sticking in my Xfinity's pick with Dinger.
Okay.
You're picking Dinger.
I am picking Dinger.
Okay. Daniel Cheney.
Okay. I'm stuck between two people. Two people that both did well at Portland. The one I was gonna pick, but I'm not. This isn't my pick. I was thinking about Sheldon Creed,
I knew you were gonna say that.
but
Hmm.
my
That
actual
was-
pick. Here we go. Give me PK Parker Kligerman.
Ooh,
I don't know.
was
I got a feeling in my bones.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go the safe route here. I'm gonna go with Kyle Larson.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I think I
Understandable.
don't know.
Understandable.
But yeah. So yeah,
Trackhouse tweeted today that it's Danny's house,
it's Danny's house.
and I was like, "We are in fact in Sonoma.
Mhm.
We had to pump the brakes." Pretty solid lineup for this bad boy in Sonoma. My first pick is the road course god, Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
Road course Jesus. And then my underdog pick, I'm going to go with him. I'll go with his house. It's his house. It's Danny's house.
Daniel Suarez.
Swervez. Danny Swervez, as he was in Cars 3.
Danny Suarez.
Oh gosh, don't remind me. In my picks,
You don't remember Ryan Inside Laney?
Inside Laney.
Chase Race a lot?
Chase Race.
listen, you don't remember. You
Bubba
don't
Wheel?
remember the best. You don't remember the best Cars character, Lewis Hamilton.
For real.
Yeah, he just got to keep his normal name.
Lewis.
Yeah, he said I don't want a weird name. Just
Actually, I think
Lewis.
it was like Lewis Carmilton. Like
I think it's
Carmilton.
literally just Lewis Hamilton.
It might be.
I checked the other day. I'm pretty sure
Why did you?
He
check
also
that?
is
because
the
I
voice
was
of
looking
Cars
at the
3.
weird Cars character names.
Oh, okay.
I was
That's
bored.
He's like
That's
the
weird.
Siri in Cars 3, like on Cruz Ramirez's car, because she goes, talk to Hamilton. He goes, Hamilton here.
Hamilton. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Danny.
Okay, my picks. As much as I want the chaos of him not making the playoffs, Chase is back, baby. Give me Chase Elliott.
Ooh, Chase Elliott,
Boring.
number 9. Second pick.
And then my second pick, I believe I called this at the beginning of the season. I'm sticking with it. He was low-key close to winning last year. Give me Chris Buescher.
Chris Bush,
I like it.
17. That's a good pick, actually. Yeah, I like that. For me, my first pick is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. William Byron, Bill Byron.
Hey,
Yeah.
number 4 this weekend, possibly.
Yep. You said number 4.
This will be his 4th win this
It
season.
would be.
Oh,
Would be.
I see. I thought you meant like his number was 4. I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah,
what?
24,
Harvick
like-
out.
Raj 56.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy myself from Xfinity.
Here comes that boy. Give me that Kyle Larson kid.
Give me that Kyle Larson kid. I want
Young
that Kyle
man.
Larson kid.
Dude,
Yeah,
can
look.
we please,
Let's see if his
have you
please
ever
have
seen-
NBC? Can we
Have you
please
ever
have
seen this
NBC
kid
back?
get around a dirt track?
Who's
Yes,
on
Clint,
broadcast this
we
weekend? Is it
have.
Kenny?
Sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
I hope it's not Kenny Wallace.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Have you ever seen this kid get around a dirt track?
Yeah, we have a lot.
A lot. But
Speaking of kids getting around a dirt track, Alex Bowman's not going to be racing in dirt for a while.
No.
hopefully not.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But-
those are all the predictions.
Yeah. Tony's picks here one last time. He's in the little picture in the bottom corner. That's Tony. He's on the left side. I'm on the right side. The Firestone Firehawks in the middle.
There's Mario
He's
Andretti in the middle.
picking, yeah, he's picking MTJ, Michael McDowell, and then I don't even think Ty Dillon is in the race, but he has to pick Ty Dillon.
He is. He is.
Yeah.
He's driving the 4 car.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then AJ Allmendinger is the group pick, which was picked by Tony as well. So, yeah, if you want to transfer out of here, let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for listening to Indy Boys. You guys can follow us on all of our social medias at Indy Boys Podcast. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and our TikTok page. Follow us on TikTok. We post good ones over there. Also, we have a lot of new viewers. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We've had a lot of growth after you all liked the gas stations. Subscribe to us so we can do more fun videos like that. And signing off for Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox, one more time, RIP Connor Daly. Have a good one, guys. I'm Tristan Grider. Peace! RIP to the boy, reppin' Danny. Uncle Danny.
Uncle Danny, Dan, well then, hold up one more time before we sign off here.
Salute the flag.
All right,
Salute
see
the
you guys.
flag.